Championship round 9 is done and dusted. Here are my hot takes. 1, 4 in a row. Our two hottest teams in the Championship right now are Leicester and Cardiff, who both won for the 4th straight game this past weekend. Cardiff have moved up into a playoff spot. Leicester are now 2 points clear at the top and are racking up points at an increasingly rapid pace. The Foxes' latest win came at Blackburn. It was 4-1. That is now 5 wins out of 5 and a perfect 15 points on the road so far this season. Right now, Leicester are looking comfortably too good for the level. Maybe unsurprising for a side with 2 fifth-place Premier League finishes in the last 5 years. And as I keep saying, it still feels like there are more gears to go through in terms of performance. If Leicester is coming across as unsurprising, then having Cardiff as a comparison is certainly a lot of fun. They had 3 managers last season, finished 1 place above the drop zone, and have been in a transfer embargo for the longest time. They aced the 3-game week with 9 points last time out and kept the run going with a 2-0 win at home to Rotherham at the weekend. That is 5 wins in 6 in the league for Cardiff. They're on one hell of a roll under Errol Balut. Let's see where they can take it. 2, much needed. 3 managers saw their teams score 3 times to record 3 much needed wins this weekend. We're talking Southampton, Stoke and Coventry. That's Russ Martin, Alex Neil and Mark Robbins. They'd all been on bad runs and we'll hope this round ends up being a turning point. I did fear the worst for Southampton. They'd lost 4 on the bounce and faced a Leeds team who'd looked in very good nick themselves. This time though, it was Saints scoring early and not conceding like they have been, and they flew to a 3-goal lead with Adam Armstrong's double, taking him to 7 for the season already. Stoke not only had to bounce back from a run of no wins in 5, but also had to overcome a 2-goal deficit away at Bristol City. They won 3-2 in the end with a late winner from young Nathan Lowe doing the damage. The bad news for both is the winning run cannot continue for both sides as it's Stoke versus Southampton tomorrow night. Join me live for the watch along for that one. Finally, Coventry have been, well, hobbling along. They'd not won in 6, but there had been 5 draws in that run. They'd given up the lead in 3 of those games as well. Now, if they'd lost, we'd be saying no wins in 7, but they won 3-1 at QPR, and now we can frame Coventry as 1 defeat in 8. What a difference a game makes. Better news still for last season's beaten playoff finalists. Ellis Sims is off the mark with his first 2 goals for Coventry. Not before time for a player with some very big shoes to fill playing up top for the Sky Blues. 3, autumn issues. As we head into the depths of autumn, 2 of our quick summer starters this season are hoping not to fall like the leaves from the trees outside. Preston have had an absolutely brilliant start. They've got 20 points on the board, but they were thumped 4-0 at home by West Brom for their first defeat of the season. Well played to the Baggies, of course. Great win. But I'm a bit more fixated on Preston's fixture list for the remainder of October. They are away to the top 2, Leicester and Ipswich, in their next 2 games. They also face Southampton and Hull before the end of a pretty tricky looking October that they start without a win in their last 2. For Birmingham, the bad run is well and truly in progress, and defeat to Norwich means 5 without a win throughout a bit of a September to forget. Again, well played to Norwich for their part in this. Their 2 stars from August, Gabriel Sara and Johnny Rowe, were back at it with both the goals in a 2-0 win at Carrow Road. Birmingham have now dropped to 12th. They do have 3 of the next 4 at St Andrews, but the Blues fans will be very well aware that the Rangers job manager John Eustace has already been linked with quite heavily became available last night, for what that's worth. 4, making their move. Each time we've looked at the bottom of the table over these past few weeks, there's been a bit of a sense that both Middlesbrough and Swansea were in underperforming status, and frankly, either the results or the managers would change before long. Fortunately for the 2 Michaels, Duff and Carrick, it's been the results changing over the past couple of games, and both Borough and Swansea now have back-to-back wins to build on. Swansea went to Millwall and came away with a resounding 3-0 scoreline. Lions fans will understandably point to a silly foul for the first goal and the penalty there, and a very poor bit of goalkeeping for the second. Swans fans will say they played the hand they were dealt and will be extremely happy with their second straight 3-0 win. Over at Vicarage Road, it was Watford 2, Middlesbrough 3, and I sense a bit of heat transference, methinks, from Michael Carrick over to Big Val Ishmael. Riley McGree's early double means 2 wins on the bounce for Borough as well, who are now out of the bottom 3. It also means 1 win in 8 for Ishmael at Watford, a club whose owners infamously do not tolerate bad runs. Coming up for Ishmael are away games at top 6 sides Sunderland and Cardiff before the purgatory of the October international break, where many a job has been considered over the past few years. 5, top, middle or bottom. The 3 promoted League One sides are now spanning almost the entire length of the Championship table, with Ipswich up at the top, Plymouth in the middle and Sheffield Wednesday right down at the bottom. Ipswich grabbed a late point as a Brandon Williams header secured a 1-1 draw at Huddersfield. It's the first draw of the season, in fact, for my lot, and depending now how the back-to-back home games go this coming week, we'll see how good of a result that actually turns out to be. The first of those 2 Ipswich home games later in the week is against Hull, and it was Hull who were visited by Plymouth this weekend in another 1-1 draw. I guess this represents some kind of improvement on the road for the Argyle after 3 straight defeats, but the point still stands that Plymouth are top 4 at home and bottom 4 away, a disparity they'll want to change. Unfortunately, the disparity for Sheffield Wednesday seems to be between them and the rest of the division so far. They were squashed 3-0 by Sunderland on Friday and have not won a single one of their 9 games so far. Worse still, we are still talking about the Owls owner, Mr. Chansiri, who took it upon himself to release another statement on the morning of the game on Friday. I get it, there's being transparent, and then there's unfiltered chaos that just doesn't serve anyone. I'll say no more. And there you have it, the latest bunch of hot takes for the Championship. Let me know your thoughts on my takes down there in the comments, or better still, let me know your own takes. Brace yourself, it's another 3-game week we are already into, and things are going to move very fast. We're going to be back tomorrow with the bold predictions, plus we'll be covering Stoke v Southampton as a watch along. So I will not plug another video to watch, but will say that you can support the channel now by hitting the join button. You can get early access to my Championship columns for tribal football. You can join our WhatsApp group. You can come on the monthly roundtable debates or at halftime during one of the watch alongs. And best of all, you'll know that you've helped out massively on my content creator journey.